Says we on. All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, now is a great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. All right, got the elder Yatazak here with me. I'm the brother Aina from GMS Dallas. All right, and we're continuing the series of the book of Judges. Today, we're going to be going over chapter 9. Now, just as a recap from chapter 8, okay, told the story of Gideon and the works that he did to free Israel from the kings of Midian, and basically how there was 40 years of peace, and basically there's a scripture in Sirach where it talks about how it's an easy thing to forget the 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 prosperity, you know what I'm saying, whenever you getting judged, because basically what happened is after that 40 years of peace, we were going to go into it in chapter 9. Okay, one of Gideon's 70 sons, whose name was Abimelech, he pretty much started wreaking havoc in Israel. So let me find that scripture real quick before we get started. A second here. Yep, this is Sirach. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Sirach chapter 11. Sirach chapter 11 and verse 26. Okay, it says, for it, actually, let me see here. I'll start at verse 25. It says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So basically what happened is Israel got complacent. Excuse me. In Judges chapter 9, that 40 years of peace, basically when you read the tail end of chapter 8, in Judges chapter 8, it talks about how when Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and went a whoring after Balaam, and they started serving other gods, right? And so even while Gideon was alive, he made an ephod of the gold from the Midianites, and basically Israel went spiritual fornicating after that, and basically it became an idol, you know what I'm saying? And it became a snare unto Gideon's house. It said unto Gideon and unto his house, right? And we're going to see basically how that was a snare unto his house. Okay, in this chapter here in chapter 9. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Judges chapter 9 and 1. You can see here title Abimelech's conspiracy. All right, it says, and Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, which again, remember, Jerubbaal is basically like a nickname for Gideon, you know what I'm saying? Basically meaning let Baal plead against him. If you missed that chapter, I think it's chapter 7. You can go into it. But it says, and Gideon, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and communed with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's father. Okay, now it's talking about the 70 sons that Gideon had. Okay, his mother's brethren were his brothers. Uh-oh, computer froze. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Seems like the stream's still going, but my mouse isn't responding. So can you see my mouse moving?
Yeah, we good to go.
But can you see my...
I don't see your mouse moving, but I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. It just got back normal. I don't know what that was. All right, let me continue reading verse 2. It says, speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you, either that the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. You see? So basically, evil thought came into Jerubbaal's mind, which might as well go ahead and pull up the map since we got some. A matter of fact, I meant to say Abimelech's mind. Yeah,
Right.
Abimelech was the one. Excuse me, the son of Gideon, also known as Jerubbaal, he was the one that basically said, "Okay, I want to see which one of y'all, which idea do you think is better? Do you think that all 70 of Gideon's sons should reign over you? Okay, or do you think that I should reign over you because I'm your family? I'm related to you, right?" And basically, let me go get the name of this Abimelech real quick, which I think we went over it last week. Abayah Malak, my father is king. Let me see here. Yeah, yeah, Abayah Malak. Abayah Malak, which is my father is king. Okay, so he had a dope ass name, but he turned out to be a demon, right? And so let's see here. Verse 3 says, "And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother." Right? So his brothers was like, "Hey, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that we should reign over you?" And now remember, going back to the previous chapter, when there were certain Israelites that was trying to ask Gideon, "Hey, like, be a king over us." You know what I mean? Like, let our sons be subservient to your sons, right? And what did Gideon say? Nope, the Lord is your king. I'm not dealing with that. You know what I mean? And so what ended up happening is his sons, when they became of age, they were like, "Shit, well, who's gonna come into power?" It's kind of like almost like when David and his sons, you had Absalom trying to usurp authority. There was another one of the sons of David during around the time of David's death. That
Oh
pretty much,
yeah, Adonijah.
yeah, he proclaimed himself, king. You know what I mean? And all this madness. So it was like there's always the same thing today. You know what I'm saying? Some a man with some land. He might have 50 acres of land or whatever, 100 acres, and let's say he has 6 or 7 children. Well, them children gonna be, especially if it ain't no will. There's nothing. There's no dividing up already before he dies. Like they're gonna be. They're gonna be fighting over that. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So it was that type of situation, family feud type of deal. Now I wanted to get this map real quick to show Shechem, the location of it. Because remember, Gideon was of the tribe of what? Manasseh, right? And you can see here in the green, you got Manasseh. I'm trying to remember what tribe is to the top, but south of that, you have Ephraim and Shechem. I'm going to zoom in. It was situated right here on the border, you know what I'm saying, of Ephraim and Manasseh land allotment territory. Okay. So this is where this scene is going down, right? So let's see here. Okay. So it says, and his mother's brethren spake, let's see here. Okay, and his mother's okay, yeah. So it says his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem, because his mom's was from Shechem. Remember
Right.
in chapter 8, I think it specifically mentions his mother. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. The reason why his name gets brought up in verse 29, it talks about how verse 30, talks about how he had those 70 sons in Judges chapter 8 and verse 30. And then it mentions Abimelech, and it kind of doesn't mention him anymore for the rest of the chapter. But the reason why it mentions him is because in chapter 9, he's basically the focal point of that chapter. So it says he had a concubine that was in Shechem, okay, right? And he also had other wives, but one of the ones that he had really, which was just a concubine, was the difference between a concubine and a wife is that a concubine is somebody that they don't really get your land allotments. They're not supposed to really get the inheritance. Like if you had a son with a concubine, that ain't going to be the one that you give majority of your strength to, as far
Right.
as like your possessions when you pass. You're gonna get rejected.
Think about Abraham, Isaac, Abraham, Ishmael, and Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you got a bond woman and a free woman. You
Mm-hmm.
see, and
Yeah.
with 70 sons, you see how much variety that is. You
Yeah.
see, but at the end of the day, the seed is held by the seed is determined by the father. You see, so even though his mother was a heathen, they didn't make him half heathen because the father was a full blooded Israelite.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
ain't no such thing as half breed this and mixed blood that. You know, now of course he wasn't the line that was chosen,
Mm-hmm.
but he wasn't a heathen either.
Right.
He just had heathen tendencies because he was wicked as hell. You got it.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. So that's the reason why she was mentioned here, and it says, and it says his name right here. You know what I'm saying? Abimelech, right? So let's see. But anyway, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this in Judges chapter 9. Okay, in verse 3, it says, and his mother's brethren, which his mother's brethren is the, his family, you know what I'm saying? Like on his mama's side though. You know what I'm saying? Like his folks on his mom's side, he was like, yeah, y'all kinfolk, remember? You know what I'm saying? My mom is she she had a baby with Gideon, remember? So he kind of went on his mom's side. You got your mom's side and your dad's side, especially like if they don't talk a lot, if they're really not that close. Because remember, concubine families that wasn't really tied like that. So they probably was, what I'm saying, it was kind of like almost like a completely different family. You know what I'm saying? And he got them to say, you know what? Yeah, why the hell we following these sons of Gideon? We're not related to them. We're related to you through your mother. So yeah, they all followed Abimelech, right? So it says their hearts inclined to follow him, for they said he is our brother, being simple, right? Basically, that's what they were doing, was being simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it says, and they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal Berith. All right, now let's check out this word. Okay, just to get some context. Let's see here. Okay, Strong's H1170, Baal Bariath. Okay, Lord of the Covenant, a god of the Philistines, though. You see, a special deity of the Shechemites. So they were worshiping Philistine gods over there, right? And basically, what ended up happening is the Lord put them in a situation where he caused them to follow a strong delusion. Was that in Second Timothy chapter 2? I'm sorry, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Get that real quick. Talks about them believing a lie. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Verse 11. Right. And let's see here. You know what? Let's see. Second Timothy chapter 2 and 11. It says, and for this cause shall the Most High send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, which means condemned, who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. You see, so what is going to end up happening when we read this account is that, basically those individuals here in that city, that shows you, man, like the bad fruits. You know what I'm saying? The Lord looks at everything spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a cluster of grapes that you buy from the grocery store, and 95% of them grapes be good, but maybe the 5% of them is moldy. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pluck those off. You ain't gonna eat those, and the other ones you're gonna keep them. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is an example of a moldy city. You know what I'm saying? A city that basically was full of people that were off because they were worshiping Baal Barayath. You know what I'm saying? The house of Baal, or the covenant of Baal. Which was a heathenistic custom, right? So that's what ended up happening, right? So it says they gave them 60 plus 10, so 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal Berith, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons, which followed him. So he, he hired some low level, some low self-esteem, low level, zero spiritual dudes to follow him, right, and to do some dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Some goons, some thugs, and basically we're about to see what happened, right? So it says in verse 5, and he went unto his father's house at Oprah and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons. So he just went up. I'm trying to see where Oprah is, the city. See if maybe it's on this other map here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it. But somewhere in Manasseh, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking here too. I don't see it either. It probably is not a super big city. But it said he went and he slew his own brothers, man. Right? And so that shows you right there that he's a demon. Talking about Abimelech. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's really an understatement. It's really a compliment calling him a demon. He's the real demon time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, matter of fact, 1 John, we're talking about Cain. Give me a second. Let's see. 1 John 5. Let's see. No, 1 John chapter 3. That's it right there. Yep. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 11. Right? Ooh, you know what? Damn, you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 10. Okay, 1 John chapter 3 and 10, it says, in this the children of the Most High are manifest. Manifest means to be made, to be able to see you. You can see some gets made visual, right? It says, and also it can be made known. The children of the Most High are made known, right? And the children of the devil are made known. Okay, and it says, whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. Okay, so we're talking about literally now. This dude Abimelech, he was the son of Gideon, which when you go back to Judges chapter 6, the Lord be with thee, thou mighty man of war, mighty man of valor, right? The angel of the Lord came to his father himself, his own father. Imagine if the angel of the Lord was visited by your, excuse me, the angel of the Lord visited your father. You know how that would affect him and how he,
man,
move. You know what I'm saying? The spirit that was on him to chase all those tens of thousands of Midianites, put him to flight with only 300 men, and how the Lord, showed these things to him and dealt with him and led peace for 40 years, and then your son turned out to be a super demon, a gremlin.
and you see that a lot in the scriptures. You see, so for all the Akim out there that's sincere and in this thing, it's not automatic that your child gonna be in the truth, man. You see, even Job in the first chapter of Job, they tell you Job was putting up sacrifices just in case his kids was doing some shit he ain't know nothing about. So it's a strong possibility that just because you in the camp don't mean your son gonna be in the camp. You see, you teach him what you can teach him, but it's not a must that the Lord gonna bring your son along too. Now he may bring your son along through your works, but Jake, don't get hung up. Don't get hung up. Because in the law shit, if you don't get it right by the time you 12 or 13, we finna hit your ass with rocks until you ain't moving no goddamn more.
Yep. And
Matter of fact,
that's
get Matthew 19. Those if you can't forsake this, and this.
Yep.
Yeah, kids is a part of that too. In the prophecy where it talk about slay utterly old and young, kids is in that. Get that understanding. So, hey, our mind's gonna have to be strong in that day. I got 2 sons. Don't neither one of them do what I do.
Yep.
You see, but ain't neither one of them pieces of shit. They ain't out in the world being demons.
Right.
But ain't neither one of them in the truth.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. King David had plenty of kids that wasn't shit.
Man.
Abimelech, Eli, Adam.
Man.
Yeah, Adam had sons that wasn't shit.
Man. Huh. Yeah.
You know? So don't take it personal. Don't take it personal if your kids don't follow you the way you think they should. That's a part of the curses. You got it.
Yep. Matthew 19 and 27. And Peter, then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
That's what I'm saying. Look at in the next verse. In the next verse, it's gonna tell you what all comes a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
We have forsaken all. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? It says, verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name,
or children.
Mm-hmm.
Gideon had a badass son. He had a lot of sons, but he had a badass son. Mm-hmm. And that's who we're reading about. Mm-hmm. You see? They don't make you wicked because your kid's wicked. Go ahead.
That's right. Yep. It says, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
That's what I'm saying. So if you think for 1 second that the Lord didn't, I would say Gideon is gone at this point. So the Lord had already dealt with Gideon. You see? So Gideon, he had a badass kid.
Yep. Exactly. And that's
the man of the Lord had a badass kid. Go ahead.
Yep. That's the thing. It's like you want your son to be like you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can give him the same name that you got. You can name him Yatazak II, Yatazak Ba. You know what I'm saying? Or Yatazak Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yatazak Ga, Yatazak III. Yeah. That don't mean they're gonna be good. I don't even know if I'm gonna be good.
Man.
You see? So I mean, I get it. We love our children. I get it. But the Lord said, if you can't forsake them, you're not worthy of him. You can't outlove the Lord, bro.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep. That's it. And it says also too, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A lot of people
for the last to be first, you got to be able to understand that it ain't about your kids.
Whew.
You got it.
Yep. And the Lord was a good example of Joseph. You know what I'm saying? He was the youngest, out of the 12 of David's. I'm sorry, the 12 of Jacob's sons.
Jacob is David.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. The spirit. Hey, that's the spirit. I said that is slip of the tongue, but it ended up working. You know what I'm saying? Kind.
For those that can receive it.
But and even in this chapter, it talks about the youngest, which we're going to go into here. Let me see here. Jotham. Yeah, that was the youngest of Gideon's sons.
Go see what Jotham means.
Yep.
Because he's the only one that made it. He the only one that didn't. Yeah, he the only one that didn't catch Abimelech's wrath.
Yep. Jotham the youngest. Right. Psalms H31:47. Yawatham.
Yahweh is perfect.
Ooh, man.
That's why he made it. I would say, look at the root word.
Yep. That's it. Yahweh. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And thumb is the root word here is thamum. You know what I'm saying?
Complete.
Yeah, complete.
Sincere.
Yeah. That's it.
It also means through.
Yeah.
But you gotta have the context.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. With the text. That's right.
Say Strong's H.
Yeah, Esau got that one right when he said that one. But yeah, so let's go back here, okay? Because basically the spirit hopped on him, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But you know what? We need to speed it up because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
so let's go ahead and keep going here. Judges 9:5, it says, and he went to his father's house at Oprah and slew his brethren at the sons of his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons upon one stone. Notwithstanding, yet Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself. See, the Lord put a spirit on him to duck off, right? And it says, verse 6, and all the men of Shechem gathered together. You know, I'm sorry, I got to make a comment on this.
Come on.
You see how the Lord ain't playing, man, because them dudes, the sons of Gideon, you know how they probably was proud, probably getting all type of box. You know what I'm saying? Really wasn't worried about the Lord, even though, because his father brought 40 years of peace. You know what I'm saying? Just think about how crazy Rehoboam was acting, after Solomon had that, that 40 years of peace. And then Rehoboam, here come Rehoboam. Yeah, my dad made y'all work hard. I'm gonna make y'all work harder than hard. You know what I'm saying? And his, kingdom got ripped from him, you know what I'm saying? Or it got torn. Majority of the kingdom got ripped from him. So also too, when Amnon got put to death by Absalom. You know what I'm saying? Absalom had a spirit on him to judge Amnon, right? Which, even though Absalom was wicked, Amnon, we know the story about Amnon, you know what I'm saying? He was a demon too. You know what I'm saying? He got put to death. So it don't talk about everything that these individuals did to get put to death all at once on the same day like that. But scripture say in Job chapter 4, who have ever perished being innocent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to make that comment. But continuing on here, verse 6.
Out of 70 sons, only one survived. Well, two.
Right,
Jotham
yeah.
and the nigga that did all the killing.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So 68 men, 68 sons dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah. By the end of this chapter, it's going to be only 69. 69 of them going to be dead. There's only going to be one left.
That's right. Which lets you know who the Lord was dealing with out of that whole line.
Man.
One son out of 70? Okay.
Come on. Yep. So it says, and all the men of verse 6, and all the men of Shechem gathered together in all the house of Millo, and went and made Abimelech king. Okay. By the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. So after they went and killed after he killed his own brothers, then the men of Shechem, they said, okay, all right, now we're gonna make you king. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make you king over us, which that's what he always wanted. He wanted to be king over one damn city in all Israel. You know what I'm saying? So he got his wish, and let's see here. It says in verse 7, and they went and told it to Jotham. And when they went and told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the mount, in the top of Mount Gerizim. All right, let's go back to the map. Right down the street. Okay. Was it 5 mile? Mount Gerizim, basically, you probably could throw a stone at Mount Gerizim from Shechem. Probably maybe like a mile away, right? Not far at all. So he stood on the top of that mount, and that's what he said. It said in the middle of verse 7, and he lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that the Most High may hearken unto you. Okay. Yeah, because basically what happened is, he just got he didn't really know why his brothers was getting killed just at that moment. He didn't know. Then when he found out, he was like, okay, the Spirit of the Lord hopped on him. Okay, and he basically said this parable. Verse 8, the trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor the Most High and man, to go to be promoted over the trees? Because basically, being a king, uh, all you doing is pointing the finger. Hey, you do this, you do that. You go do this, you go do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You don't go and do carpentry or do some laborious work. Basically, all you're doing is telling other people what to do, right? So olive tree can't focus on making olives for olive oil to for anointing and this and that if it's over here ruling over the trees, right? Oh, and this is another precept going into how men represent, are likened under trees as well, right?
Because trees ain't talking. Trees
Right.
ain't talking and doing all these things.
Mm-hmm. Right. It says in verse 9, but the olive tree said unto them, I read that already. Verse 10, and the trees, and on the tree said unto the fig tree, come thou and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit and go to be promoted over the trees? Right. And so basically the same answer that the olive tree gave, the fig tree gave. Okay. It says, then said the trees unto the vine, come thou and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, should I leave my wine, which cheereth the Most High and man, to go be promoted over the trees? You see? And the same answer, right? So you got the bringer forth of grapes, figs, and olives all said, nah, we good, right? But then here come verse 14. It says, and the tree and all the trees and then said all the trees unto the bramble, come thou and reign over us. Now let's look up a bramble, see what that is real quick. Because a bramble had a different answer. You know what I'm saying? And that shows you how desperate the trees were to look for a bramble, which when we're going to get into it, Strong's H32, 329. It says atad. All right. That word is thorns, bramble, thorn, buckthorn. Okay. A thorn, basically a thorn tree. You know what I'm saying? Buckthorn.
I got a
You
precept
know,
for you.
kind.
This is Ezekiel 31:9. It says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. You see, liking the trees unto men. You
Mm-hmm.
got it?
Yeah. But this tree, which this man specifically, he was spiritually, he was thorns and thistles. He wasn't good. You can't use a bramble bush for anything, other than, like a whip or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas compared to these other trees, they all have fruits, right? Their fruits were olives, right? That can be used for multiple things. Figs, okay, grapes. You know what I'm saying? These are all pleasant trees. All right, but here come the bramble bush, okay, which is basically used to scourge. That's the only thing it can really be good for, right? And they and the tree saying, okay, you know what, we'll just make the bramble bush king over us then, since these other desirable, righteous ones don't want to be king over us, right? Because remember, Gideon basically said the same answer. He was like, look, I'm good. Let the Lord be your king, right? He was a righteous vine. Get talking about Gideon. Okay, but his son was a bramble, right? So here's the response of the bramble. It says, verse 15, and the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. But what's the good use of hiding under a bramble bush? That shit gonna stick you and prick you and all this stuff, you know? And so that's exactly what we're gonna see, right? And it says, and if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon, right? Which those cedars of Lebanon represent specifically in this parable the inhabitants of Shechem, because that fire going out was judgment. Okay, you know what I mean? Basically, he's saying, look, if you don't put your trust in me, this is still the bramble talking. If you don't put your trust in me and under my shadow, I'm a then then fire gonna come out of me and devour you. Which when we read this chapter here, is that's exactly what's happened. What's gonna happen? Okay. All right. They hid on they they got up underneath Abimelech and they said, okay, you know what? Yeah, but Abimelech, you're gonna be our king. And they're like, man, you know what, man, to hell with this dude. Over time, right? And they revolted, and we're gonna see that fire come out of Abimelech, just like the parable said. Okay. So this is Judges chapter 9 and 16. It says, now therefore, this is still what's my bro's name? What's his name? Uh what's the brother's name here?
Who Jotham?
Jotham, the water. The Jotham, this is still Jotham talking right here in verse 16. It says, now therefore, if you if ye have done truly and sincerely, and that ye have made Abimelech king, and if ye have dealt well with Jerubbaal and all his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hands, for my father fought for you and adventured his life far and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, and ye are risen up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons, 70 persons, upon one stone, and have made Abimelech the son of his maidservant king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. Okay, so basically he's saying, if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hands, if you then have dealt truly and sincerely with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice ye in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Millo, and let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Millo and devour Abimelech. Right. So they were like, look, I'm sorry. Jotham was like, look, if you did right, if y'all did the right thing by killing 70 of my brothers and making you know this dude Abimelech your king, right? Just because he your cousin, all right, then cool. Then y'all do y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all prosper. But he already knew that wasn't the case. He said if not, right? Okay, if not, if you haven't done well towards Gideon and his house, then let fire come out from Abimelech and devour him and devour you, and y'all gonna devour each other. You're gonna go out and devour him too, right? And devour Abimelech. And then verse 21 it says, and Jotham ran away and fled and went to Beer and dwelt there for fear of Abimelech his brother, right? So he said that prophecy. He said what he said. Okay, and basically here we go right here. The next part of this chapter is Shechem and Abimelech fall, the city and the man. Okay, and we're gonna see how it happens. Let's see if we got anything on the commentary real quick. Okay,
I'll be right back, bro.
Yep. Let's see here. I'll read the second paragraph here in the story of Abimelech. It says, Jotham, the brother who escaped, warned the Shechemites in a parable of the trouble they would bring upon themselves. Good men are likened unto good trees. You see that? You see, good men are likened unto good trees. They are too concerned with giving useful and honorable service to be bothered with seeking power. You see that? Man, that's tough. That's heavy right there, because basically that lets you know that these other Israelite groups that are so power hungry, money hungry and this and that hungry, rank hungry and fame hungry, they're not concerned with giving useful and honorable service to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They're concerned in seeking power. You see, they're likened unto brambles. Okay, they're not likened unto good trees. Yahweh said, "What a good tree shall bring forth good fruit." You know what I'm saying? Let me get that real quick. All right, Matthew chapter 7, verse 17. Even so, every good tree. Actually, I'll start at verse 16. All right, it says, "You shall know." Damn, verse 15. It says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men rather gather grapes of thorns, or figs of thistles?" You see that? Another example of the usefulness of thorns and thistles. And there's a difference between a bramble bush, okay, and a grapevine and a fig tree and an olive tree. You see that? It says, "You shall know them by your fruits." Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Do you get grapes from a bramble bush? Bramble bushes don't produce grapes. Fig thistles and different bushes of thorns, they don't produce figs. You see? So you got to look at the tree by its fruits, right? It says, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." You see that? And those thorns and thistles represent that evil fruit, right? So let's go back here. Oh, and I'll drop down to verse 19. "Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire." So let that be a foreshadow to this here. Continue on, Judges 9 and 22. It says, "When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then the Most High sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem."
An evil spirit. The Lord sent an evil spirit. Now keep in mind, we done been through several different lessons, and the Lord will put together a series of events through the angels for things to play out on the earth. You see? So
Mm-hmm.
Jotham being that chosen line, Abimelech doing what he did, Shechem, the Lord had beef with them. You see? And you're gonna see that the Lord wanted to get rid of a whole lot of Shechemites.
Yep.
And he used one of Gideon's sons to do it. He used Gideon to get rid of some heathen. So he used his son to get rid of some heathen. But he did it in a different way.
Yep.
You see, the Lord's thoughts are above our thoughts. Go ahead.
Right. It says, when Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, and during them 3 years, he was probably partying and being a nigga, and what I'm saying, dealing with all types of women. He was winning, right? It says, "But then the Most High sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech." You see? Because sentence, like the scriptures say, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men are fully set in them to do evil.
Yep.
You know
Because
what I'm saying?
he messed over his father's side and his mother's side.
Man, just a whole abomination.
Doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Yep. Verse 24. It says, that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew him, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brethren. Yep. Because he hired men of that city to do some niggerish activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of them had blood on their hands, and the Lord put dissension between them. It says, "And the men of Shechem sent liars in wait for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them. And it was told Abimelech." You see that? So basically, they pretty much set up their own king. You know what I'm saying? Right? And it says, verse 26. Well, when I say that, I mean the men of Shechem set liars in wait for him in the top of the mountains. So they were kind of waiting for Abimelech to be the one. You know what I'm saying, but he wasn't actually ever caught. He was the one. They kind of told him, like, yeah, there was some dudes in the city, they lying in wait for you. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
he got tipped off.
Yep, exactly. but it's his own people that he ruling over that's doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, verse 26, and Gaal, okay, so here's a new person introduced here. Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his brethren and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. So here come this random dude from another, another city come in to Shechem, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, man, you know what? I think we like this dude Gaal more than we mess with this dude Abimelech, man, right? Gaal came with his crew, you know what I'm saying? And it says, and they went out into the fields and gathered their vineyards and trode the grapes and made merry and went into the house of their God, which this is just common practice, just to just completely just go off and you know have parties and be wanton in the name of Baal Berith, right? In the name of nowadays, in the name of Christianity, in the name of these other, the name of these other feasts that people want to attribute to the Most High, but really the Most High ain't dealing with. Okay, it says they made merry and went into the house of their God and did eat and drink. Okay, notice that God is lowercase g, not the Most High. It says and did eat and drink and cursed Abimelech. You see that? They had that wine in them. They were like, man, you know what, man? You know what, man? Hey, man, this dude Abimelech, man, to hell with this dude, man. Right? So it says in verse 28, and Gaal, the son of Ebed, said, who is Abimelech? And who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Jerubbaal and Zebul his officer? Serve the men, of Hamor, the father of Shechem. For why would we serve him? Right? So they're like, look, man, this dude Abimelech, he's just this random son of a concubine. You know what I'm saying? He's the son of Jerubbaal, the one that cast down the altar of Baal. And here we are talking from the perspective of Gaal. When I say this, he basically saying like, here we are in the merriness and the celebration of in the house of Baal, right? Um, like this dude Abimelech, why we subservient unto him? Who is this dude? He really hit Zebul is his officer. This little dude, Zebul, man, he the one calling the shots. It really Abimelech, he ain't really hitting on nothing like that, to put it in layman's terms, right? That's what Gaal was saying, and that's that spirit of rebellion, okay, and dissension that the Lord was stirring up between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, right? So it says, verse 29, and the Most High, and would to the Most High this people were under my hand, right? Then would I remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, increase thine army and come out. You see? So this dude, Gaal, he wanted all the smoke. The Lord put a spirit on him
Mm-hmm.
to get drunk, curse Abimelech, right? And say, hey, yo, man, if you come out here, we're gonna jack you up, we're gonna put you to death. If and I should be the ruler of Shechem, right? Now, let's see here. It says verse 30. And when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. Right, Zebul was again the officer of Abimelech. Right, it says, and he sent messengers unto Abimelech privily, saying, behold, Gaal the son of Ebed and his brethren be come to Shechem, and behold, they fortify the city against thee. Now therefore, up by night, thou and the people that is with thee, and lie wait in the field. Yeah, so his homie Zebul, he was on his side. You know what I'm saying? He was on Abimelech's side. He was like, yo, hey, Abimelech, man, these dudes, they conspiring against you, bro. You're gonna have to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? This is what you could do. Get up, at night, okay, you and your men, and you go out and lie in wait in the field, right? Verse 33, and it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, thou shalt rise early and set upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that is with thee, and when he and the people that is with him come out against thee, then mayest thou do to them as thou shalt find occasion. So he like, all right, look, Zabul was like, hey, look, this dude Gaal, he trying to usurp authority over you. What you can do, go out at nighttime, you know what I'm saying, you and your men, right? And when the sun comes up, all right, basically, besiege the city, like come up on the city. And when Gaal comes out and his men, they come out, and they challenge you, hey, do your thing, right? So that's what happened. Verse 34. Okay. Now you have basically in this part of the chapter, two demons fighting against each other, basically, right? And they basically destroying each other, right? But it's all according to the will of the Lord. Okay. It says, and Abimelech rose up, okay, because Gaal, he was an Israelite too. You know what I'm saying? But it's two wicked Israelites, okay, fighting against each other. So it says, and
Which you can also correlate that to today. You got 2/3 of Israel. You got 2/3 of Israel in all these groups, and they don't argue amongst each other as far as righteousness is concerned. You know what I'm saying? But you see fights at unity camps, IUIC, ISUPK. You see two Israelite groups. Then you see when Israel was fighting against Benjamin, it's always been Israel against Israel, but that's a part of the curse until the Lord redeems us, man. Because at the end of the day, after all is said and done, for the sake of what the Lord got going, Israel is gonna bump heads. Israel is gonna have situations like these. Go ahead.
That's right. Yep. It says, verse 36. Verse 35, and Gaal the son of Ebed went out and stood. Oh, actually, I skipped verse 34. And Abimelech rose up, and all the people that were with him by night, and they lay wait against Shechem in 4 companies, right? So they pretty much covered each direction of the city, most likely, or they at least had it separate, you know what I'm saying? Some type of formation in 4 separate companies, 4 separate groups, okay? And it says, and Gaal the son of Ebed went out and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him from lying in wait. Right. So they got up out them trenches and said, okay, now let's see if you bought that action. Gaal, right? And it says, and when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zabul, behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And, and at first, Zabul was messing with him, you know what I'm saying? Because Gaal was shook, you know what I'm saying? When he first seen it, like, damn, hold on. People, the fuck, did people coming down from? Because remember, Shechem, you got to remember, look at the map. Shechem was situated between 2 mountains, Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, hold on, you got some foreigners coming in from over the mountains. Where we at? Boom. Right? It says, and Zabul, like I said, Zabul was messing with him. He was toying with his mind, and this is his response. Zabul said unto him, thou seest the shadow of the mountains as if they were men. You're like, nah, you just seeing the darkness, you just kind of seeing some movement there in the shadows, you know what I'm saying, of the mountains. That ain't none, right? Which Zabul knew what it was because he was on Abimelech's side, right? And verse 37 says, and Gaal spake again and said, see, look, see, there come people down by the middle of the land, and another company came along, and another company come along by the plain of Meonaim. Okay, so you're saying, look, they come from different directions, right? And then said Zabul unto him, where now is thy mouth, wherewith thou saidest, who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Is not this the people that thou hast despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them. See, so Zabul, he was kind of like Joash. I mean, he was wicked. You know what I'm saying? Both of them were wicked. Zabul and Abimelech, because Zabul followed Abimelech, so he was tripping too. But the reason why I say he was kind of like Joash, he would like he was like, look, okay, like how Joash was with David, like he was, he was tipping off David, and they're like, hey, look, this is what you do, David. You know what I'm saying? And and
Joab.
and Joab, yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. Oh, I said Joab or Salakia. I
Yeah.
meant to say Joab, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of like how Joab was with David, like loyal unto him, even though, Zabul and Abimelech was both wicked. In that way, he was kind of like loyal to him, and he challenged Gaal to back up his words, right? And so it says in verse 39, uh, and Gaal went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech, right? So they got what they wanted, and Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him, and many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entering of the gate, right? So they got judged, okay, and Abimelech went, and Abimelech dwelt at Arumah, and Zebul thrust out Gaal and his brethren that they should not dwell in Shechem, right? So let's see here. So he left, right? Abimelech left, and Gaal and his brethren were taken care of, right? Zebul thrust them out of the city. Okay. And I think we got maybe like 10 more verses left. Maybe 10, 15 more verses left. Let's see if we got anything on the comment board real quick. Okay, we got this with Jeremiah. By the way, I'm not an elder. You know what I'm saying? The elder Yatazak's an elder. I'm not an elder. Jeremiah 3 and 14. Brother GMS, Virgin Islands, Straight Gate. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family and bring you to Zion. Yeah, so the Lord wants us to turn unto him. He wants us to but the thing is we backsliding. That's the key word right there. You know what I'm saying? We slid back from our agreement. We backed out of our agreement, but the Lord still wants us to turn back. Okay. And ultimately the elect have, they're going to be the first ones to turn back to the Lord. And, the rest of the 2/3, man, they're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to keep this. Like I was saying earlier, this is like a world star video. Watching this, like this drama, this is basically like drama. You know what I'm saying? Transpired throughout Israel, going back, hundreds and hundreds of years, a couple thousand years ago. This been going on, and still to this day. You turn on, like I said, World Star. You see all types of madness, niggas shooting each other, and but they wicked. Wicked two wicked people putting each other to death. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what's going down.
Acting like
And
rappers.
yeah. Yeah. Black culture before it was even a thing basically was going on in
Yep, like you
Israel.
said, world star. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So continuing on verse Judges 9 and 42, and it came to pass on the morrow that the people went out into the field and they told Abimelech, and he took the people. Hold on, Yep. And he took the people and divided them into 3 companies and laid wait in the field and looked, and behold, the people were come forth out of the city, and he rose up against them and smote them. Right. And it says, and Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the field and slew them. Okay. So basically, the Lord put a spirit on Abimelech to just start judging. You know what I'm saying? The Lord put a spirit on Abimelech. He just started putting people to death, right? And it says, but what kicked it off was the Gaal situation, right? And because remember, he didn't return back to Shechem. He didn't return back because he really had some pressure on the fact that there was a conspiracy going on against him. So he didn't, what I mean? He went to another city, right? So let's see here. Verse 44, and Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entering of the gate of the city, and the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the field and slew them. Okay. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and he took the city and slew the people that was therein, and beat down the city and sold it with salt. You see? So he went and basically destroyed the city that had crowned him. You see what I'm saying? And it was just anarchy, right? And so when you sow the ground with salt, that makes it unable to absorb water. You know what I'm saying, properly, and that prevents crops from being able to grow. Okay, so he just uprooted the whole city. All right, in 3 years. Okay, and it says he slew the people that was up in there. He ain't taken captive. He just put them to death. You see that? Spirit is created for vengeance. And verse 46, it says, when all the men of the tower of Shechem heard that, they entered into and hold of the house of the god Berith. You see, trusting in other gods, right? And what's that in Isaiah chapter 30? Let me get it real quick. Woe unto you. Let me see here. Isaiah chapter 30. Seek for a covering, but not with my spirit. Yep. Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children. Okay, which this is going into the history of Judah being warned, okay, with the alliance of Egypt at that time. But this can go into a whole lot of situations, and this is another situation where Israel was putting trust in other places other than the Lord. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right? They didn't turn to the Lord and say, oh, Lord, Baba Kosha, have mercy on us. You know what I'm saying? They went into the house of a Philistine god. Excuse me. Right? They went into the house of a Philistine god, right? And Baal Bariath, and basically end up getting put to death, as you can see in verse 47 and verse 48. All right. It says, and it was told Abimelech that all the men of the tower of Shechem were gathered together, and Abimelech gat him up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the people that were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a bow from the trees, and took it and laid it on his shoulder, and said unto the people that were with him, what ye have seen me do, make haste and do as I have done. So at this point, Abimelech's in judgment mode. Now we're starting to see that fire come out of Abimelech, like what was his name? Jotham had basically prophesied, right? And so now Abimelech, he's in berserk mode. He can't be stopped, right? So he said, he basically like, okay, we're just gonna burn this tower down, right? It says, and all the people likewise cut down every man his bow, which a bow is like a branch. Okay. It says all the people, all of his followers, all of his, men in his army, and they followed Abimelech and put them to the hold and set the hold on fire upon them, because there's a door, what I'm saying, most likely made of wood so they can open and close. And they just set the door on fire. You know what I'm saying? They all lit up they lit up them branches, right? And put those branches to the hold of the door, okay? And they set the door on fire, and the entrance of the door, ended up coming down and burning up the contents, which were people, okay? It says, he set the hold on fire upon them, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died also, about 1,000 men and women. So imagine how big.
So it was the Lord's will for Gideon's sons to go through what they went through, so he can get at Shechem. You see, it just was what it was. It is what it is. You see, so having a thorough understanding of the Heavenly Father is key. Because people always want to get offended. Why would he do this? Why would he do that? Why? You know? Well, here's why. And just because you don't like the answer, don't mean that ain't the answer. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so it says, actually, let me hold this preset one second before I forget it. All right, this is back in just 9 and 49 in the middle says, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died also, about 1,000 men and women. You see, so that wasn't no small number of people that was in that tower. Right. It says then went and they got burned alive, by the way. So I bet they didn't wake up that morning thinking that that's how they day was gonna go.
Man.
See? You know what I mean? But it says but that's a spirit of judgment. Literally fire went out from from
that reminds me of that movie Just Cause with Larry Fishburne and Blair Underwood and Ed Harris. And Ed Harris was a serial killer on there. And he was talking about his victims. He was like, do you think that when they rolled out of bed this morning, they were thinking today is my day to die? And he went into his monologue. Yeah, he went into his monologue. That's a real good movie though. It's a real good movie. Yep. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of when you said that. Go ahead.
Yep. It says then went Abimelech to Thebes, okay, and encamped against Thebes and took it. Now, so he's just on a rampage. I want to see what the commentaries say on this part here. Let me see here. Okay. All right. Let me read this paragraph here. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start this paragraph. It says, in due course, trouble arose between Abimelech and the Shechemites. Through highway robbery, the Shechemites created an atmosphere of insecurity and disorder. At the same time, robbing Abimelech of his taxes. Interesting. Okay, that's what it meant when it said they cut off all the men. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. When he said they robbed all the men that came by the way, that's what was supposed to be coming to Abimelech. You know what I'm saying? They cut off his money flow. You know what I'm saying? So it says when a suitable occasion arose and Abimelech was in another town, a group of Shechemites plotted to overthrow him. The chief administrator in Shechem pretended to be on their side, but secretly he sent news to Abimelech. Abimelech came quickly and put down the rebellion. You see that? That's how it went down. Okay, it says
y'all voted for me, man. Now y'all want to kill me? I killed all my brothers so I can rule over y'all, and y'all said it was cool. Now y'all want to kill me? Okay, I got you. Yeah, berserk. Nigga went berserk, bro.
Yep. That's right. Yep. So it says, but Abimelech did not stop at that. He decided to teach his subjects a lesson. See that? So here's that fire coming out. It said he would destroy all the people of Shechem, both those who went out to work in the fields and those back in the town who took shelter in the city stronghold. He put them all to death. You know what I'm saying? The ones out there in the rural, in the field, working with the cattle, the ones within the city walls, all of them. Right? Took shelter. The ones that took shelter in the city stronghold, they wasn't safe. All right. Now it says, in senseless fury, Abimelech carried his attack to other towns, but his uncontrolled rage and lack of caution, soon brought about his own death. It says the Shechemites who supported him were also destroyed, as Jotham had predicted. Right. So we're going to read about how, specifically how he got judged. Right. So Judges 9 and verse 50. It says, then went Abimelech to Thebes. Again, it was a nearby city, and he continued his rampage, right? And camped against Thebes and took it. but there was a strong tower within the city, and thither fled all the men and women, and all they of the city, and shut it to them, and gathered them up. Excuse me, and got them up to the top of the tower. So everybody took shelter inside that tower inside the city. Right, there was a tower within the city. Okay, and Abimelech, verse 52, and Abimelech came unto the tower and fought against it, and went hard unto the door of the tower to burn it with fire. He like, shit, I know how to handle these. Let me just go burn the door down. I'm gonna burn the door and burn them all up. Right? Senseless rage. Right? It says, and a certain woman cast a piece of a millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull. Mm-hmm. So this was specifically quoted here in 2 Samuel. You know, David, this was noted. You know what I'm saying? This was noted in history to the point where David quoted this, you know, to when he was responding back, you know what I'm saying, to a message from Joab. You know what I'm saying? We read it already, but you know, like, you know, a few months ago. But I'll read it here, 2 Samuel 11 and 21. Right? He said, who smote Abimelech, the son of Jerubasheth, right? Which really Abimelech was the son of Jerubbaal, you know, which was Gideon. It says, did not a woman cast a piece of a millstone upon him from the wall that he died in Thebes? Right. So this was a piece of history that was remembered. So when we go over these you know, these history videos, and it may take a while to get through the narrative and stuff like that, guess what? This was history that King David, this was the history that was taught, you know what I mean, when we were in the land. So, you know, but videos like this, you know, they don't get as much views, but it's important, man, to go over this history, right? So in verse 52, it says, and then he called hastily unto the young man his armor bearer, talking about Abimelech. Abimelech called hastily to his armor bearer and said unto him, draw thy sword and slay me, that men say not of me, a woman slew him. And his young man thrust him through, and he died. Same way Saul went out, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? A similar way. You know what I mean? He got smote with a grievous wound when he was fighting against the Philistines, and he told his armor bearer to you know, to slay him, but his armor bearer, and he was too scared, so Saul just fell on his own sword. You know?
And this dude got hit upside his head with a boulder. And was like, man, and with the last right before he was Thamum being through. Yeah, right before the Thamum hit his ass, you know what I'm saying? He called his armor bearer. Look, man, I don't want nobody to they can't know a woman killed me, man. So just go ahead and take me out.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, women kill men all the time.
Yep.
Women kill men all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, especially back then.
Oh yeah. Judges chapter 4. You know.
See, nowadays, shit, the bitch gonna put antifreeze in the biscuits. You know what I'm saying? Shit, back then, shit, they was chopping off heads, nailing niggas' domes to the floor, chopping niggas' heads off, doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Judith cut Holofernes' head off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff. Yep. You know, so he got what he deserved, right? And let me get the scripture real quick. Let me see. He that they get the pit is in Proverbs.
Yeah, bitch done pull bleach. Yeah, bitch done pull bleach in your Hennessy.
Yep. Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Abimelech was on a ramp. He had a kill streak going on. You know what I'm saying? He started off with, you know, killing his brothers, and he's like, okay, well, shit, some years done went by. I'm still alive, man. Shit, I can do whatever the hell I want. I can be a nigga. I can do this and that. Now your ass is in the scriptures as a memorial of one of the biggest niggas on the planet.
Yep.
Biggest
Got
Israelite
got
niggas.
hit upside your damn head.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he that lived with the sword shall die by the sword. He got what he deserved, man. Right? That's breakdown of the
And what I
scripture.
said, now keep in mind, this is the son of a righteous man. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 55. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man unto his place. You see, so everybody, all the madness was abated after after Abimelech was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Thus the Most High rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, in slaying his 70 brethren. Yeah, because he disgraced his father. He did, man. So basically, shit, the only one left to Gideon's seed was Jotham.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So verse 57, and all the evil men of Shechem did the Most High render upon their heads. I'll read that again. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did the Most High render upon their heads, and upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. You see,
Man, the curse of Jotham. Now, what? Now, we'll say Yahweh Thumb.
Yeah, Yawatham.
Yahweh Thumb. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
The
see,
Most High, He is complete. He is perfect. The Most High is
which
perfect.
which goes to show you that was the Lord's will that whole time. You see, putting that evil spirit on Abimelech to kill all his brothers, and all that led to the Shechemites. A whole lot of them getting killed. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it was pretty much Jotham was the elect of that particular situation. He was the only one that was delivered. Like you said, it was 70 sons. It ended up being 69 by the end of the chapter. And that's what the Lord wanted to happen. So everything that the Lord wanted to accomplish, he utilized those men to do so.
Yep.
You done messed over your dad's side, you done messed over your mom's side, then you get hit upside your damn head.
Yep. That's what happened. That's what happens when you a nigga. And that's what he deserved. That's what he deserved. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it on that. I know we've been going for a little bit over an hour, so that was pretty much the chapter. And I don't know, did you have any closing points upon anything like that?
Nah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So hey man, I brought this out as an edifying lesson. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostle, that was a great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.